Pathogen Blast technical seminars are an Intertech production. For instructor-led .NET, Java, and XML courses, visit us at www.intertech.com.
So let's cancel out of here and let's go back to the test that I just executed. What you see here is various different links pointing to the video, and the time on there was just a representation of where in the recording will it start. So I was talking for a minute and a half while I was executing this run. So what I did was I clicked on the recording link next to Launch Internet Explorer, and evidently I'm still talking here during the video. But now as a developer, if you've got a bug or something like that, you can go in and see exactly what QA was doing at the time that they created this bug and follow right along with them. And if you don't want to go real time, in the far lower left-hand side, you can fast forward through the recording, and it goes at something like 4 times the speed. So that's really powerful, being able to create and automatically attach this recording to your test cases. It just virtually removes. If you've ever walked up to a developer and told them, hey, I've got a bug here, and they say, well, what did you do? Well, I'm not sure. I did a lot of things. Well, that scenario is gone completely. You configure things to capture recordings, and they can watch exactly what you've done. Are we going to cover automation testing? If I hurry up, it's not looking very good right now. If I hurry up, I'm going to do a very quick demo on coded UI test, and I'd also like to do a 5 or 10 minute demo on web test and load test, but I'm just not sure we're going to get there. All right, so what I want to do now is let's go through and let's execute this test again, only this time I want to create an action recording. Okay, and I'm going to try not to talk during this so we can speed things along a little better. Okay, so I launch test runner, click on my create action recording, hit start test. You'll see down here at the bottom that the recording started. So now I'm just going to run through the various steps. I'm going to use my shortcut keys. So I forgot to hit one. Okay, so I've successfully run through my test. When you click End Test, now what's happening is it's going to collect all this information and pass it on to TFS. You'll notice at one point in time I said, oops, I forgot to hit my shortcut key. What you see over here, these little kind of orange bars, are a visual indication of the granularity of the test. So now that I've got an action recording, I can go through and one by one re-execute each of these tests. So if I highlight a step and I hit play, the first step executes, highlight another step, hit play. Now I'm going to go to this step where I accidentally forgot to hit it. And by forgetting to hit that, I didn't tell test runner when I was done with a given test. Let's see, we've got a little error here. Oh, very important to know. When you're executing tests, you need to completely leave your keyboard and mouse alone. So what I was doing while it was trying to execute those tests is I was moving my mouse around, so it messed up the replay of the test. Okay, so now that's all a bit tedious. It's fine and good that I can go in and execute these tests one by one, but what's really useful now, I'm going to go ahead and save and close this. I've created an automation. My test has passed. I'm going to reset that. For some reason, I want to rerun it. Let's go ahead and hit run again. And now I want to be careful, too, with the word automation. This is really assisted or a semi-automated test at this point. So now next time I go in to run that, what I have the option of course, I can overwrite my existing action recording and recreate another. You don't want to be doing that very often. But now when I start my test, I know that I've got a validation step down here. But what I can do is say, let's highlight everything up until this test, and I'm going to hit play. And now I don't have to do any of those clicks. Obviously, I'm having a little problem here. Okay, I'm not sure why I was having a problem. Just hitting replay, though, was enough to get through it. Okay, so now what I can do as a tester is, rather than going through the tedium of having to click all these buttons, imagine that's a 20-minute bunch of things you need to execute before you get to the point where you're actually validating something. Now I can just go ahead and hit play. It's going to stop at the point where I need to validate. So again, we're not fully automated at this point in time. We still need a QA person looking at the screen and validating this for us. So now I can hit my shortcut key and hit play. That's, again, this close the application is another one of those best practices. Always put in a close the application, or what you're going to find out, especially if you are doing some automation, is that you've got all these windows open all over the place. Let's see. I'm not actually sure it closed, because what I already had was a bunch of these Internet Explorer windows open all over the place. Okay, so now we've gone through some scenarios where we've greatly simplified what we need to do to be able to execute some of these longer and some of these tedious tests, and we've also taken a brief look at the kinds of things that are attached to our tests. And I think we've got another question. Yeah, there was a question about importing and exporting test cases from Excel. If I get some time at the end, I'll do that. It's really super easy to do. Okay. So now at this point, we've got a semi-automated test, but it's somewhat brittle for a couple of reasons. If you change the login process, or if you change the URL to the website you're testing, or anything like that, you're going to break things. So what you'd really rather do is break some of these things down into shared steps. So if I look at launching the application and navigating to the site under test, these are good candidates to create shared steps from. So what I can do is I can go into my existing test case, right-click on the items that I want to use in my shared steps, and call this, I don't want to trip on something that already exists. So I create this launch and nav shared test case. And another thing I think would be fairly common to do would be the act of signing in, username, password. Actually, let's go down to click sign in now. Again, right click, create shared steps. Okay, so now, in the interest of time, you're going to have to believe me, but what's happened is we've actually broken our test automation. It's detected that we've made some changes, so we're going to have to go and re-record things. So what we're going to want to do is, if we go over to our Organize in the Shared Step Manager, and let's refresh. We've got our two new test cases here. What we're going to want to do is come over here, and we're going to want to go and record these items one time from here, create the action recording here, and then any test case that references these shared steps, you don't have to go through that. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to create an action recording, and it's going to come up pretty much exactly like any other action recording. So launch Internet Explorer, and let's nav to the site. Save it and close it. And let's do the same thing. And let's go in and let's make this a little bit more robust.
For more free learning resources and to see the latest lineup of our instructor-led.net, Java, and XML courses, visit us at www.intertech.com.